Okay, so this is a Samsung S3. We're gonna see how this works. If this works good, then we'll use this. So this is a video about Edison proprietary uh, threads on terminals. And so what I want to talk about, if you're into these batteries, Edison had a proprietary thread count. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to access the information at this point. And even if I did, I wouldn't know how to make a replica threaded nut. So I'm going to show you an original Edison nut. And try to explain what I'm trying to explain here. So what this is a right here. This is how you can tell gauges of bolts and nuts. It's basically a bolt and nut gauge. So if you look at it, it's just all the different mainstream sizes. So the one I'm trying to get at is sort of a hard thing to get at here. Let's see. Whoa. If I drop this phone, this video is sunk. So that's an Edison original nut. Most of the nuts on this were removed. And let me show you. Even though this says it's 7/16-20, it only goes on that far right there. See, and I'll show you the nut itself. It's basically a steel nut with a nickel coat on it, a nickel plate coat. So you see that? See how the inside is cut? That's something you won't find anywhere that I've seen. Very specialized. And then the threads, of course, something specialized with them too. So I'll put a link to this gauge thing if you want to look at it. I got it from Amazon. Here's the it's called a thread checker. So in my other video I was discussing how this is the original Edison threads, and this, for example, would not be, and you can tell because not only does a modern stainless steel 7/16-20 jam nut go all the way on, but there's two little bite marks, kind of like vampire teeth marks on these. So someone rethreaded these for the modern threading. This one, though, so there's no bite marks. This has the original. If you use an original nut with the original post, the original threads, this is what happens. Get that on there. It's actually not meant to go all the way down. It's cut in a certain way. Ouch. That, or there's so much corrosion on there it's not working properly. Let's see original Edison terminal on there and see what happens. Or original Edison, kind of like a bus bar, but it's a terminal connector. I'm going to do a video on all the proper language. So even with the original nut, there's a gap. I think that's just so corroded it's not going on. But that would be the original setting. There might even have been a washer there or something like that. I don't know. I don't think so. I bought an original set of these for my buddy. I didn't see any washers, but then again I wasn't looking. I still got to clean these up. So what I'm trying to get at is the closest equivalency I could find was a 7/16-20-20, and I bought that in the form of these stainless steel jam nuts. And what I'll do is I'll take, let's see here. Seems to be a lot of traffic for quarantine. Okay, so we'll do something like that. That's an original. See how it doesn't go down all the way because it's not properly threaded. It's enough threaded to get a bite on this original threads for this modern equivalent. When I got these had different owners. Obviously, they've been tweaked with different ways. These were the least buggered ones that I could find out of the group I bought. And now, if you go to one of the modified ones like this, see the two marks. It goes on like that, and then the stainless steel 16-20 will go on. So that's just a happy coincidence. I didn't realize that, but it'll work. And if there is any gap in play, I usually put what I'll use is a copper washer and fix that up. So I thought that'd be interesting to talk about. It's something that you wouldn't know unless you stumbled upon it or did it. So in some ways it's good that they've been modified. That means that they've been workhorses all these years. Otherwise it's bad, because if you don't have all the information and you start doing something, it may not be the results you were looking for. You need all the information necessary to properly do something. If you get only partial information, you're going to only have a partial success. Some of these batteries that I got, these aren't the ones, have actually been cut open. All kinds of weird things going on. And even replacement cases are just steel and they're not nickel plated and they're rusting. I'll have to show those in other videos. Oh, here's an original nut, probably from the same guy that modified these. Sorry, not an unoriginal nut from an owner. See how it's just a straight steel nut? It's rusted on there. I used a PV blaster on it. I'm going to keep working on it. It might take a few tries and get that off of there, because that blocks off any access of putting a connecting deal on there. These are some of the original connectors. Oh, I'm down there. This one's got some kind of coating on it. And this one's on another video. This is how you would connect a string to another string with that one. But I gotta play with those coming up. My big objective is to clean these up and then use Vaseline all over in here, not inside obviously the opening, but Vaseline all this up. Edison's manuals say use Esbeline, but that's not available anymore. Vaseline's the equivalent. So what else was I going to show you? Oh, date codes. So if you look on the internet, someone or some group of someone's kindly found all the date codes for Edison nickel iron alkaline batteries. All the date codes except for 1944. So that's 19, and then the next one is 22 through 70. So what you do to date an Edison battery, an Edison nickel iron battery, is you look at the date code AE. Go on here, AE. That'd be 1953. And I think these are all AEs. Just going through them. So that's good. That means they're our brothers and sisters. This part right here is a serial number. So this is in 1953. This was a 724th battery made that year. Pretty cool, huh? These Gland Seals. There's two types that I've seen. These are the later type, the octagon. There's an earlier type, looks like a flower. I remember I found out what year they changed, but I haven't wrote it on my nice cheat card here yet. So also I was going to tell you, voltages. So I decided to check out the voltages on some of these, and they still carry a voltage. A lot of these still have the electrolyte in them. I checked a couple. I need to actually get serious about checking them, but first becomes cleaning. They need to all be cleaned up. So I'll randomly check one here. I think I've checked this one yet. You see that? Check this one out. Oops. Let's get that on there. So these have a lot of corrosion on them. It's probably screwing around with what's going on here. Let's try one more here. So you see they still they have a charge after probably at least several decades. Now, I'm not thinking all the way back to 1953 because they were modified, obviously, with these little. There's a tool that you pound it on there and you rethread it. That's the forensic evidence there. So that's good. They still have somewhat of a life to them. Yeah, my plans are to clean them up. Make sure. Another really drastic important tip you need to know is if you're storing these, don't add any distilled water to them to bring it up to the level when the nights go below freezing. One of the Edison books I read was you add distilled water in there to get the levels up properly, and it won't properly mix with the rest of electrolyte, and then when it freezes, the ice will expand and explode your battery at the top. So I'm waiting for warmer weather, and then I'll add some distilled water to get the electrolyte up, and then do some investigation, non-destructive investigation, see if we could get some life out of them. If not, I've got the techniques and materials to replace the electrolyte with proper electrolyte, properly mixed and things like that. And I have other videos on that. So what was I going to tell you? As a bonus, I'm going to show you how to check out the date code on an Edison nickel cadmium battery. If there's enough light, I'll show you. But I don't want to put everything in one video. So this video is over 10 minutes, so I reached that objective. 10 minutes is about what YouTube wants for their ad purposes. And it's roughly about 1 gigabit on the memory card for every 10 minutes, and this memory card doesn't have a lot of capacity. If I blow past the capacity, it'll freeze up, and then the video would be no good. So let me move this for you right quick. See my leaky garden shit that came with this house. I'm kind of repurposing it as a battery. It's a battery shed here. So these are Edison nickel cadmium. So the way to tell when they were made is the first 4 digits. So this one is 0278. So that's 02 is February and 78 is 1978. So this one was made in February of 1978. right? I'll try another one. Here's another one. 0576. So January, February, March, April, May. So that's May of 1976, right? So I've got a huge hoard of nickel iron and nickel cadmium batteries, and I've tried to fix them up. These are some of the best ones that had a sufficient electrolyte. What I mean by that is there's 2 measuring marks here. There's enough electrolyte in them to at least be between those 2 on these sets. And so I was like, well, let's see what we can do. So here's a charge controller I got on them. Today's a rainy day, so there's not much going on. That's what it shows, and it's kind of wonky. It's meant for lead acid, and it's kind of wonky, but it's getting the job done. Here's another indicator, and all this is a USB connector. It's meant for motorcycles, actually, but it goes up to 32 volts. Yeah, I think, if I remember right. Oh, well, up to 24 or 28 volts. So it's good. So it takes you up to 28 volts or so, and converts it to 5 volts for anything that's a USB powered. In this case, it's a little plant light, the little switch, and that pushes out a spectrum that's supposed to be good for so it's acting weird. But that's supposed to be good for, or it could be weird voltages. It could be a lot of things. It could be cheap components. Could be bad luck. So anyway, that's it for this video. Please leave some comments and stuff like that, and ask me questions and like that, so I can have something to do videos on, because yeah. Alright, and you notice that there's different caps. There's other ones besides these too. Different flip caps. Let's see, this is a good flip cap. I can try to zoom in on that a little bit. I think that's McGraw Edison. It's not gonna focus, is it? Well, I'll read it to you. McGraw Edison Company. Whoops. Still going? Okay. McGraw Edison Company. Bloomfield. Is that Massachusetts? Gosh, what is it? I bet I use this crazy little LED light or try to read on it. Oops. This is kind of this is like the outtakes, but it's still rolling. We're still rolling here. Okay. McGraw Edison Company, Bloomfield, New Jersey. Edison, Thomas A. Edison. Made in the United States of America. So that's what that reads. I know you can't probably read that. So yeah. Yeah, this is for maybe growing some strawberries and stuff year round, even underground. That was the idea anyway. Now it's going strong. And so all I have is this hooked up to these. They're 12 volt panels. Let's see if I can show you the. No, I can't get to it without disturbing them. But it's just Chinese 12 volt mono panels. Monocrystalline. Okay, so that's it.